Recall the time when you watched a movie with friends, and a few of you were raving about a few scenes and others just did not appreciate the same at all. What does this say about perception? Or have you ever found yourself sharing your thoughts with someone and you see that the expressions or response of the other person is not really what you expected? Have you wondered why people are not able to relate to things the way you do? This is because each one of us has a different set of experiences. That makes all of us unique in the way we process information. We all are bombarded with information all the time. Research shows that an average human is exposed to 34 gigabytes of information per day on average. For a perspective, 34 gigabits is like watching 30 movies every day. But how do we process all this information? Certainly, we don't want to retain all the information that we receive. That would be overwhelming. The communication model of Neuro Linguistic Programming, NLP, explains that as we receive information through our senses, one or more of the following processes may happen at a subconscious level. Deletion, selectively focusing on specific aspects and not others. Distortion, misrepresentations of reality. Generalizations, developing a blanket or sweeping opinion based on one or two experiences. Now, these three factors distinguish why people perceive things differently. It's rare for anyone to delete, distort, and generalize the same thing the same way. What are deletion, distortion, and generalization? Let us see. Generalization: when we allow one or a few experiences in life to make us believe that all our future experiences will be similar. For example, my boss has a bad temper. And I begin to generalize that all bosses have anger issues. Initial setback in driving. And I generalize that I'll never be able to learn to drive a car. I must think of only positive thoughts. This creates a mindset against any thoughts other than positive ones. Blanket words like all, never, always, must, everyone, and no one are classic examples of generalization. These generalizations often lead to biases and prejudices. We need to be careful of generalizing when we hear or speak these words. Ask yourself, is this accurate? Deletion is the process where one pays selective attention to certain aspects of an experience and neglects the other aspects. For example, reading books while playing music. A presenter deletes the crowd's boredom and he still goes on the same way. Such a deletion process is also natural and at times even important for us to carry on our work. We need to filter out the continuous information bombardment. But now look at the following statements and see how deletion works while we communicate. They don't want to change. Who are they? What change? This critical information was deleted while speaking. And it leaves room for assumptions. Mahesh is better than Pradeep. How is Mahesh better? In what ways? Whose opinion is this? Everybody feels that way sometimes. Is it accurate to say, does everyone feel so? What is that way? What does sometimes mean? Omitting critical information while speaking or listening can have a serious adverse impact on the communication process. We need to be mindful of such subconscious deletions. The best way to deal with deletion is to ask questions. Ask yourself, am I assuming anything? Distortion is the process of misrepresentation of reality or altering facts to make them appear differently, based on our life experiences. Example: so many unnecessary calls drain me. Do the calls really drain you? Is there a direct cause and effect? He doesn't like me. He yells at me. How does his yelling mean that he doesn't like you? Have you ever yelled at someone you liked? Spending so much time at work means that you don't know your job well. Does knowing one's job mean that they don't spend time on it? Are the two things really the same? Mind reading or drawing unsubstantiated conclusions are forms of distortion. Distortion often leads to communication gaps and misinterpretations. Ask yourself, is that a reasonable conclusion? Is there any other way this can be viewed or explained? Now that we understand the concept of deletion, distortion, and generalization, what next? We need to be mindful of these subconscious processes. When we speak, we can ensure that we are more specific while sharing the required details. While listening, we may reduce deletion, distortion, and generalization by asking clarifying questions and not assuming things based on our past experiences. Did you observe yourself deleting, distorting, or generalizing today? Hope you now have a better insight into distortion, deletion, and generalization. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at team@talentsculptors.com. Thank you.